So we're going to be moving on to question 2. And again, as I said in the previous video, this is from that free response practice problems. I'm doing one video for each. We're on question 2. All right, so we've got this function, the graph of f. The graph of f is shown below. It consists of 6 line segments. Let g be the function given by g of x equals the integral from 0 to x of f of t dt. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and write that down. And that starting point is really important. The rest of it, is pretty much the same as last time, except for now, instead of starting at 2, we're starting at 0, which is a little bit nicer. Okay, and just like last time, I will be writing on paper. So part A asked me to find g of 4, g prime of 4, and g double prime of 4. This is the same as what we did on the previous problem, so I'm going to start with g of 4. G of 4 is going to be equal to the integral from 0 to 4 of f of t dt. And so that means I want the area under the curve from 0 to 4, which is a triangle and trapezoid. Remember, the area under the x-axis is negative. The area above the x-axis is positive. So this area is a triangle with a base of 1 and a height of 2, which means it has an area of 1. This we can think of as 2 triangles and 1 rectangle, or you can do a trapezoid. I'm going to do 2 triangles and 1 rectangle. This area here is 1, this area here is also 1, and this area inside is 2, making the area of this 4. And so my integral from 0 to 4 is equal to -1 plus 4, which is 3. Okay, so that's g prime of 4. No big deal. I mean g of 4. G prime of 4 requires me to find out what g prime of x is. Again, we're going to take the derivative, which is going to give me f of x. And so now I just need to read the graph at 4. At 4, my answer is 0. So g prime of 4 equals 0. Okay. Then we want the second derivative at 4, which means I need to take the second derivative. The second derivative is f prime, which means now I'm reading slope. So g prime of 4 is the slope at 4, and the slope is -2. Those are my 3 answers. Again, I'm not explaining as carefully as I did in video 1, so if you're not understanding, and this is the one you chose to start with, you might want to go watch video 1 for a better explanation of why those are what they are. All right, part B. Does G have a relative minimum, relative max, or neither at x equals 1? So we're wondering, A, B, does G have so at x equals 1, what's happening with G? Is it a max, min, or nothing? So why would they ask us that? Well, at 1, G prime is equal to 0. So we know that G prime of 1 equals 0, which means it's a critical point. And so they're asking me, is it a max, a min, or neither? So it's a max. It depends on what happens with the value of the function. So G prime of x is negative between -1 and 2, +2. Actually, let's just go between 0 and 1. Is negative between, on the interval, we'll just use on interval, (0 to 1), and G prime of x is positive on the interval from 1 to 4. I mean, I need to go all the way out to 4, but basically it goes from being negative slope to being positive slope, which means it's minimum value. Minimum at x equals 1, because G prime of x changes signs from negative to positive. This is important. I should really have included that in my sentence, but by having them there and then saying the sentence, I'm okay. All right, part C. Suppose that f is defined for all real numbers and is periodic with a period of length 5. The graph above shows 2 periods of f. Given that g of 5 is 2, find g of 10. Okay. So periodic, meaning that it repeats itself. 2 periods are shown, just kind of like sine and cosine. They're saying that since g, and it repeats itself. If g of 5 is 2, what's g of 10? Okay, f is periodic. So f is periodic. Period is 5. Okay. We know that g of 5 is 2. In other words, the area under the curve from 0 to 5, because g of 5 is equal to the integral from 0 to 5 of f of t dt. And since that's equal to 2, the area under the curve from 0 to 5 is 2. So we're asking for g of 10, which will be equal to the integral from 0 to 10 of f of t dt. Or in other words, we're asking for the area from 0 to 10. Which is repeating, so it's 4, because there's 2 of those. Okay, because it's periodic, it's equal to g of 5. Because periodic. Which means the area is also going to repeat itself. Okay, last question. Suppose that f is defined for all real numbers and is periodic with the same information. Given that you write an equation for the tangent line at x equals 108. Okay, so equation for a tangent line. I need g of 108, and I need g prime of 108. Okay, it's periodic. It has a period of 5. So I'm going to take, I'm on a different part. I'm changing colors. This is part D. It's periodic with a period of 5. So I'm going to divide 108 by 5. 5 goes into 108. I don't know how many times, I don't care, but it'll make a 105, which is 21, with a remainder of 3. The remainder is the part I care about, because g of 108 will equal g of 3. Because if it repeats itself, we'll be on what part of the repeating pattern when we get to 108. And since we're going to do this over and over again, by the time I get to 108, I'm at 105, then 108. So I need g of 108, which is the integral from 0 to 108. So I need the area here, this area, which will be 2 plus 21 times 5. Okay, anyway, f of t dt. Sorry, not doing great. Let's see what I can do here. F of t dt, 108, which is going to be equal to 5 times 21 plus the area from 0 to 3 of f of t dt, which is equal to 105 plus 2, which is 107. So that's g prime. That's g. G prime will be the derivative, which is the value of the function, which is 2. The value of the function is 3. Okay. And so now I have everything I need. I have the input, output, and my slope. So my tangent line, it will be y equals 2 times x minus 108 plus 107. Okay, I did do this a little bit wrong. This part is wrong, the 5 times 21. The area of each period of the curve is 2. So right back here. So to go out to 108 means that I'm going to have 21 periods. So 21 times 2. I won't get that an answer. Yes, I do. Okay, that's good. So 21 periods times the area under each period, which is 2, is, and then the area here is, that's 42, plus the area there, which is 44, and so this is 44. Sorry. Seemed to, like, it couldn't be that simple, so I apologize for, like, why does it give me back the answer? So I double check the key. I do apologize for getting that wrong. That makes more sense. Okay. All right, I'll see you soon.